In today's video, why I quit squatting.
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. And hey, does anybody recognize this? Who is an OG subscriber, friend, client of mine and remembers my first ever logo? That's right, this was my first logo, arms out. My first web developer, Robert Fahey, took this as a stage picture of me and he turned it into a logo. So the only reason I didn't keep it was because it was a pain in the butt to put on stuff because it's so big, it wouldn't fit on like hats and shirts. So I had to come up with the new logo, which is the double P's, Pro Physique, inverted. And have you ever noticed there's a barbell in there? Come on, man, come on. You know that's a sick logo. Anywho, let's talk about why I quit squatting. Do you ever, or have you ever, loved something, loved it so much, and it just kicked you in the dick, just did not love you back? Well, I'm not just talking about relationships here. I'm talking about an exercise like the squat. For many people, the squat is, and anywhere you look, when you talk about the #1 mass building or the best exercise you can do, the squat is at the top of the list. And so it's a benchmark for a lot of us, kind of like the bench. You know, the bench press is another one of those manly things. How much do you bench? How much you squat, it's a lot of about debate. Are you doing full depth squats? So it's not as much of a benchmark for men, but it's still considered widely probably the most impressive lift you can do. When someone can squat a lot of weight and make it look easy properly, like if you think back to like some old Tom Platz videos, right? Ronnie Coleman videos. Like you see those guys squatting 600, 700 pounds. I think Tom Platz did 500 for 23 reps. When you see those videos, you think, that's what I gotta do to build giant legs. But then you see somebody like Dorian Yates, who never squatted. Maybe he did early in his career, but he focused all his time on other movements and still built fantastic legs. So, do we need to squat? I don't know. My opinion, no, you don't need to squat to build great legs. I think it's a great movement, but why did I quit squatting? This video is about me. Let me be narcissistic for a minute. Let me talk about myself. So, let's talk about my journey through bodybuilding. Squatting was always very difficult for me and I never understood why. I mean, early on when I first started, getting into lifting weights at 17, 18, 19 into college, the squat was one of the first things that you had to try. You had to put it on your back, go down and come up. I could never really do that and I never understood why, and nobody was ever able to articulate for me why that was the case. When I was very good at bench pressing was something that came, I don't want to say naturally for me. It took me a few years to get, in the right position, but at 235, 240 pounds, I bench pressed 400 pounds, which that's by no means world class or anything like that. But for a guy my size, my frame, basically a long, lanky bodybuilder wannabe, 400 pounds was a very good bench. And typically people that can bench in the 400 range can squat well into the 5s and 6s, right? Especially guys with a wingspan of an NBA, forward. But that's not the case for me. Squatting has always been difficult, but why is that? Well, one of the cool things about continuing my education in this sport and no longer just accepting things for what they are, when you learn from the best of the best, people like Dr. Mike Zoros, people like Ben Asgrow, Lane Norton, learning about the biomechanics and the leverages of the squat, I came to learn that biomechanically speaking, I was not designed to squat. I have a very long torso, which kind of makes the lever arm of where the squat bar is on my back very difficult to keep in a good position. That's why I always felt like I was fighting myself. And I never really felt the squat in my quads. When you think of a squat, you think of a quad movement. Well, for me, it was mostly a glute movement, which is fine. Glute muscles are great too, but I don't have an issue with glute muscles. I have a huge butt. Maybe that's why. Maybe all my lower body movements tend to go that direction. But why did I quit? Let's say I'm not perfectly designed to squat, but I still want to do it and I still want to enjoy it. Well, when I started getting into high-level competitive bodybuilding, when I earned my pro card, I thought, you know what, I really need to start putting in some work with the squat and the deadlift, and I got into powerlifting. And at that time, I moved to Tampa and I started training with Lane Norton. And at that time, Lane Norton was becoming a world-class powerlifter. Actually, when I was his training partner, he won his first national title. Now, I say training partner because we went to the gym together. By no means was I doing anything near what he was capable of doing. Lane, at that time, was a GD machine. He was, squatting 500s, 550s for reps. I remember when he got up to squatting 600 for 3 or 4 reps. He was regularly pulling high 6s, low 7s in the gym. And that was so inspiring to me that I felt like I got to get through this. And I put myself under some programs, things like squatting 4 days a week. I had some programming from like Ben Esgro and Mike Zordos doing daily undulating periodization. And the thing that I learned about that was, if you do not have great leverages, if you do not have great mechanics, and by that I mean, you can look at a squatter from the side and see, where does the bar path go? So if you go down for a squat and this is your first movement, not a good sign. If you go down for a squat and this is your first movement, better sign. The bar has to stay over the center of your foot. I cannot do that. My lanky Gumby body does not allow me to squat with efficiency. I am not an efficient squatter. So high frequency programs, when you're not efficient, is going to cause problems. Well, what problems did it cause for me? Well, I got hip tendonitis, I got knee tendonitis, and I had some back injuries, right? Strained my lumbar a couple times. Luckily, nothing too crazy, because one thing I am good about is if I get hurt, I say, boop, that's it, I'm done, and I just stop doing whatever was hurting me. That's probably saved me some pain. My friend Lane, who's had some injuries recently, I think his passion for squatting is so great that even though he's had a few injuries, he's continually trying to fight through them. More power to Lane, like that's his goal, that's his passion, he loves it. And I'm, every time he gets hurt, I just want what's best for him. But for me, what was best for me is, okay, I have to stop doing this, because when you're hurt and you can't even go in the gym, you start to lose your passion for lifting weights. And what got me in the door of the gym years ago was that first initial time that I loved moving weights and seeing the weight increase and seeing my sleeves got a little tighter, and maybe some girl commented hey, you look like you've been working out. That's what got me in the gym. It wasn't that I could squat 500 pounds or that I loved squatting. So that's why I quit the squat. I haven't squatted in maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and something magical has happened. Magic, I say. So I got rid of the squat, and I looked back at when I had the best legs I've ever had. I looked back at 2009, 2010, before I ever got into powerlifting, and my legs were much bigger and fuller, much more depth to the muscles. And I looked back at my training logs, and lo and behold, before I was doing that, guess what I was doing? Leg press, leg extensions, split squats, maybe some hack squats, but nothing that required me to load my spine and do a big compound movement like the squat. So why were my legs bigger and I wasn't squatting? Well, like I said before, the squat didn't really activate a lot of my quads, whereas the leg press, the leg extension, these movements actually do. And when I quit squatting and I tried to go back to those movements, I couldn't do them because I had such bad knee tendonitis. It took me a few months of, embarrassing lower body workouts. Literally, I remember doing leg extensions for the first couple months, super slow and controlled for 30 pounds, leg extensions, 30 pounds. It's all I could do and not feel pain, but I had to do what I could do. So I would do things really slow eccentrics and just focus on getting a pump. And I would go on the leg press and literally do 1 plate per side and just work on getting a pump. Because if I put 2 plates, I would feel the strain in my knees. And I'm 40, I have a son, I have another one on the way. My number one priority right now is being healthy. I want to be happy and healthy. But lo and behold, I've persevered. I am now back to doing the same weights I used to be able to do on the leg press, on the leg extension. I can leg extension the entire stack now, right? It's not always pretty, but there's no pain. I can also do single leg split squats holding weight. Things that were excruciatingly painful because of the tendonitis are now good again. That's why I've quit squatting, and I'm glad I did. Does that mean I'll never squat again? Probably not. I actually love the feeling, and now that I understand the proper movement, how to put the bar low on my back, how my knees should travel, bracing, those kind of things, I can actually squat semi-efficiently. I'm never gonna squat 400 pounds again because getting to that place was what got me hurt. but I may do something like a squat where I'm using very controlled eccentrics, making sure I feel no pain. The same strategy that I use to build up my leg extension and leg press back to some numbers. And what I'm excited about is competing in a bodybuilding show this year because I actually have put muscle back on my legs because I quit squatting. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences with an exercise that you love, that you wanna do, but it doesn't love you back. That every time you do it, it bitch slaps you. All right, guys, have a great day.
All by myself.